Hey guys, what's up? This is Isolation Gamer 05 back at you again with, finally, another video of our F1 2020 My Driver career mode. I apologize for the tardiness of this video. School has just been a lot to deal with lately, what of the new digital circumstances that we find ourselves in, but since this is our reading break, I finally got a opportunity to record this video. Well, the footage has been recorded for a long time now, but I'm just providing voiceover. Anyway, if you need to refresh yourselves over the events of this series, we just became F2 World Champions as Anakin skipped solo, and now we have to sign for an F1 team. If you've noticed, 3 of these teams have stars, and that's because they're part of the Ferrari Driver Academy, which will give our driver bonus driver acclaim, which is good. However, that doesn't mean we can't sign for the likes of Mercedes, Red Bull, or McLaren. But I don't know why I'm holding this off from you guys in this recording, because evidently, if any of you remember from about 3-4 months ago, when I put up a poll about which team should we race for in the coming Formula 1 season, it was between Alfa Romeo and Red Bull. I had just randomly selected 2 teams off the top of my head and pitted them head to head in order for you guys to decide which team we're racing for. And, well, it's no surprise, we're racing for Alfa Romeo Racing, or Orlin. Well, and I think it's a good decision because mostly rookies tend to go for lower field teams, and, well, we're a backrunner team for sure. Like, we're only Haas and Williams are worse than us. So that means we have a lot of room to grow, which is good. And we'll probably, hopefully by next season or the season after that, we'll get enough acclaim to boost ourselves up to one of the upper teams. Yeah, I'm excited. It should be fun. That means if I had gone for Red Bull, I would have just been kicked out very easily. Anyway, so now we got to choose our teammate, and I decided to go for Antonio Giovinazzi as our teammate. Kimi Räikkönen, he's a great driver, great experience, but in this mock 2020 season, where pandemic did not ravish the world, as we now know, Kimi Räikkönen announces his retirement from Formula 1, and so with a gap open at Alfa Romeo Racing, we decided to fill in that vacancy. And so that means that the driver lineup for Alfa Romeo for next season will be Anakin Skip Solo and Antonio Giovinazzi, which means we probably will out-qualify him because his AI on this game, for some reason, is just terrible. I mean, he's not that bad a driver, but anyway, here we are. We get to choose our season length, and I decided to go for the full 22 race season that we would have had in 2020 if, well, like I said, the world had not been turned on its head this year. Yeah, so let me know how you guys feel. Maybe I'll go down to a smaller race season in future seasons. And yeah, so let's get into this. 22 races. I'm excited again. And here we go. So we're getting our settings, and I decided to go for 50% race length because, well, it's just a little more exciting. And we upped the difficulty to 60 like we did last time. Obviously, I'll raise it if we need to. And here we are in the Alfa Romeo Racing Garage. Anyway, here we have a lot of things to cover because I know a lot of my viewers probably won't be Formula 1 junkies. I'm not one either, but, well, yeah. Anyway, the car will be unveiled on February 6th. Or, sorry, March 6th. Oh, wow, no, I can't date. Oh, dear. Anyway, we're advancing. In our messages, we have a message from our team principal, Frederic Vasseur, who's just, being a nice guy. And team principals are really nice people, they really support the drivers.
I have not more to f***ing say to you guys, and if you don't like it, I don't need you here. Do not come back, please.
If they're good enough, they swim, they survive.
Unless you do bad, but I mean, let's not go on that. Anyway, here we have our facilities, and well, we have no control over them as drivers, but we have control over the R&D tree. Now this is important. So every practice session in every F1 race, we get resource points, and we can spend those resource points on 4 departments: aerodynamics, powertrain, chassis, and durability. And as you can see, Alfa Romeo is very bad in the aerodynamics department. And aerodynamics is probably one of the more important facets of a Formula One car, because obviously the more downforce and the less drag you have, the faster you're going to go, regardless of the engine. The engine helps, but yeah. Anyway, because we're so behind, we decide to develop a front wing gunnery flap, which will give us a minor drag reduction. We'll be finished, hopefully, in time for, I believe it said Australia. I wasn't paying attention. But anyway, we go on ahead, and although we have the second best engine on the grid, we decided to invest into our engine, a minor engine power upgrade. And that will be ready before our first race in Australia. So hopefully the upgrade goes well. Here we can manage engine components. So we only have a limited amount of engine components we can use, and we have to swap them out before the qualifying session. Once the parc ferme restrictions are active, you cannot switch engine parts, you can't switch the car setup, it is fixed, so that way no one has an unfair advantage. So that means you have to manage these parts, because these parts will wear out over the course of the season. And well, let's just say that we don't want a DNF, because there's nothing worse than, I'm sure drivers like Lando Norris, and he's just the first one that comes off the top of my head, or just any Renault driver will tell you that that is not a pleasant sight to see. Not throwing shade, because, well, who knows, one of those, we might be driving for those teams in the future, so let's not limit our options there. But yes, it will be important to regulate, and of course we have to use it strategically, and we also have to have gearbox allocations. Here it's a little simpler, because we can develop a new event gearbox for after 6 races, but if we do it before 6 races, we get grid penalties, and that's what's at stake. If we qualify well, it doesn't matter, because if we have grid penalties, we'll be starting further down the order, and that is no bueno, not good at all. That, like, seriously, because you have noticed in this game, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a record of destroying my front wing, because I am terrible at starting in the midfield. But that's a bad thing, because I'm in a midfield team, or more of a rear team, but rear end team. But anyway, here we go. We have our driver perks, where we can look at our contract. As you can see, as a rookie, we're not worth that much. In fact, we only have $300,000 in the bank, but we can spend it on perks, but we'll cover that later. And here's where we can look at the driver's standings. And no one has anything, because the season hasn't started. Anyway, with that out of the way, we decide to advance the season time, and we're just getting weekly resource points. And before we begin, let's go to the car reveal. I was going to skip this, but then I realized it's a cool montage, and it's kind of cool. Kind of dramatizes the car. So anyway, I'll just shut up while you see our new car. She's a beauty. I mean, she doesn't look anything. There's no difference between my car and Giovinazzi's car. The only difference is the number. It's kind of cool. We have number 15 car. There's nothing to it. It's cool. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, here we are. Beautiful Alfa Romeo car. And, there's nothing else really to do, I guess, besides advance time. But I noticed that we have new messages, but we're just not going to look at them yet. Got more weekly resource points, and finally we get our parts, and we are met with a bit of a calamity at the beginning. But first let's look at our messages. Just Frederic Vasseur telling us that we're going to be aiming for the midfield, but we'll be starting more at the further back on the grid. That's not bad, but I'm always aiming to win, regardless of the car. Anyway, speaking of the car, our powertrain development is successful. But we can't say the same for our arrow, so we have to redo the development, and that means that it won't be ready until at least Vietnam, the 3rd race of the season. Yeah, that's not good. Anyway, here we are. We're in the Alfa Romeo garage, getting ready for our first practice session. Weather forecast for the race. It's dry. typically as it is in Australia. I don't know if there's been any wet races in Australia in the recent years. Let me know in the comments below if that's the case. I don't believe there has, but anyway, we just get a lot of details from Carl, our race technician, and Jeff, our strategist, I believe. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a dry race. That's good, which means that hopefully I won't be slipping and sliding. Yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and well, let's get this practice session started.
Great, you're done with the technician's briefing. Look, I know we've got a lot to get through in FP1, but Will Buxton's been pushing for a quick interview before you head out on track. Don't worry too much, he's a good lad. He's just over there. These media appearances are important for a few reasons. They'll help build your profile and your brand. Plus, your team will get a real boost to their motivation if they hear you praising them. Will, as promised, sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, mate, not a problem at all, not a problem.
Look, we've got to be out on track in about 5 minutes for FP1, so we can only spare you a couple of minutes max. Is that going to be enough time?
More than enough, we're already set up. Cool, let's go. So, we're used to seeing rookies in Formula One every year, but this season there's a youngster that's arrived with perhaps a little more interest in them than usual. And that's because while they've been successful at every level of their career from karts all the way through to Formula 2, they've somehow managed to stay pretty much under the radar. They don't have that luxury anymore though. They're in Formula 1. Millions of people around the world watching their every move, both on and off the racetrack. So let's take some time to get to know them a little bit better.
All right, here we go. So we have a little interview here before we start.
Tell us a little about yourself. What's the thing you're most excited about being here in Formula 1?
So we can obviously answer this question here. So this will help with driver acclaim. And yeah, Will Buxton, great guy. I've seen from his TV and his YouTube work. Yeah, so we just said definitely the competition is what excites us from Formula 1.
What do you design for your current team?
Yeah, so now here we have the what Carl was telling us just now. Whatever we choose here will affect the morale of our departments. And so as you can see, each of the questions, if you pause the video and read them over, basically you'll see that each one pertains to a certain department. So you have a power, chassis, durability, and aero. And here's the thing, as you can see, I'm kind of padding the video right now. I'm turning my voiceover, and that's because I was recording this live initially. I was going to do a live recording as I did with the F2 races, but it didn't really work out. I found out I was just very bad in terms of what I was saying, and so I decided to record it after the fact when I wasn't concentrating so much on not spinning out. And so I'll just say that I decided to choose the aero package. Although we have the worst aero on the grid, our department needs the morale boost because we are suffering because it's the upgrade.
What would you say is going to be the biggest challenge for you this season?
And yeah, so here we have, this is just for our claim or just whatever. And as you can see, we can no comment, but that's kind of rude. Like I said, Will Buxton's a nice guy. I mean, yeah. Anyways, I think we just went with getting orientated because it's true. You have to hit the ground running when you're in F1.
Really appreciate your time, but I know you're very keen to get on. Best of luck out there.
And thank you, Will. Too bad Codemasters didn't really render your face very well, to put it mildly. Anyway, so we skipped the practice sessions. I was going to record them, but then I realized it's kind of boring. There's not much to it. It's just me gaining resource points to spend on upgrades. Whatever. You guys aren't here for that. You're here to see how I race. And so here we are. We're about to enter qualifying. Qualifying is very important, obviously, because depending on what times you place, you will that determines your place on the grid. And there's 3 qualifying sessions, and it reduces further and further until the 3rd session, where there's the top 10 shootout, which will determine the grid placement of the top 10. We want to aim for that, but I don't expect us to get there because, well, let's be real, Alfa Romeo usually at the best can aim for Q2, but that won't stop us from aiming high. So let's just get right into it. Here we are in the Alfa Romeo garage, and we decided to go for setup 3. Pretty balanced. Anyways, here we go. We're starting off, and here we go around Albert Park. It's a pretty good track, in my opinion. As you'll see on the halo, which is the little ring around the cockpit, and you'll see in future videos, this was filmed prior to update 1.12, which just adds which had the whole "we race as one" message that Formula 1 was advertising. Yeah, so as you'll see, there's a few lacking details on the car, but it gets better. Promise you that. Anyway, here we are. We're going around turn 15 on our first lap of Albert Park, heading to turn 16, and then heading to the final straight. I can't speak, and we'll find out where we are as we cross the line. We're in P5. Great lap from us, but I wasn't satisfied, so I decided to head out again for another hot lap, and we were actually up by at least 0.4 of a second, and then we run into the slow Alpha Tauri of Danny Kvyat. Yeah, as you see, I got really distracted by that, trying to slow down, and I go on the grass, which really lowered it. And Kvyat just lets me pass, so I was stressing about nothing, so I was kind of peeved by that. Anyway, going through the session, and we're dropping down to P9. Giovinazzi's only in 17, and I wasn't satisfied with that lap. I felt like I could do something. I could do better. Anyway, so we go out again for a third lap. This is not advised. I'll usually only do maybe 2 laps in each qualifying session. But, yeah, anyways, as you see, pretty sloppy lap. I know I'm playing on the controller, but, for some reason, I was just going on. I could not keep off the grass. And I take that car really wide, so much on understeer, and we cross the line, and we don't improve our times. We go out again, and we meet the grass again, as you can see, and again, not improving our time, but we make it out of Q1 in P9. Yeah, Giovinazzi barely makes it in with the skin of his teeth. Yeah, yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, good on him. But we're out-qualifying our teammate by a lot. So I'm feeling that we're at too low a difficulty. And Gasly isn't even in Q2, which is really sad. I mean, Gasly is probably up there in one of my top 3 drivers of the grid. Anyway, we go out again for another lap, heading towards turn 3, opening the DRS, and we late brake really hard, and we're on the ground. And yeah, that happened. So we reset onto the track, we box, and then we go out again for another lap. Because that was embarrassing. Heading around turn 16, opening the DRS, and here we go. We'll see where we are, and here we go across the line, and it's provisional pole. And then I'm sorry, anyway. As you can see, that didn't last very long. We're in P4, which is still ridiculous considering our car. And we go out again, because like I said, I'm going to do maybe about 2 laps per qualifying session. One at the beginning of the session and one towards the end. Just to give an idea. We go purple in the second sector, so that means we have the fastest track time out of anyone, but now you can see why I was so stressed when I went on the curb last time. Anyway, despite destroying the front wing of our car, we finish in P4. I'm sorry, what? To put that on, the Mercedes are down in the bottom 5. What is happening? I'm at a loss for words. Anyway, we decided to head out right away because there's rain supposed to arrive according to the forecast, and so we gun it. We want to put in a great lap time before the rains arrives in Australia. I was trying to do a play on Africa, but by Toto, but I failed. Anyway, here we go. Braking hard into turn 6. I don't even know. I have the race track out in front of me so I can label the corners correctly. Anyway, here's turn 15. Brilliant. That turn during practice gave me a lot of trouble, but I think I finally got it. Anyway, open the DRS on the straight. Vettel's ahead of us. What can we do? P3. Behind the Mercedes. A Ferrari subsidiary team is better than the actual Ferrari works team. Bruh. I can't say the same for the driver, though. As you can see, I said I mastered turn 15. I lied. Anyway, towards the end of the session, we don't change, so I just go up for another lap, because why not? Purple second sector. I really do believe that the second sector is my best part of the racetrack. It's like a lot of high-speed corners, which really helps with the fast engine of our car. The only problem is the aero, which we can address later in the season. Anyway, here we go. Heading towards turn 15. Will I make the same mistake? I go in. For some reason, I still go on the power, and I'm back on the grass. And deja vu, I'm out of the track, and, well, yeah. We needed that lap. We're down in P5, though. As an Alfa Romeo, we should not be in this position. Like, look at this. Like, the Mercedes are ahead of us. The 2 Ferraris are ahead of us, which, to be fair, according to the stats of the season, they should not be there. But they are, because, well, this is before the Ferrari nerf. And I'm better than the Red Bulls? And Albon's better than Verstappen. I'm at a loss for words. This season has the potential to be great. Let's head out to the grid order.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today, as we return to Melbourne for the opening race of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Here we are then, Formula One in 2020. The fight for the World Championship all starts here today. Mercedes on the hunt for a 7th consecutive title. They'll have Ferrari and Red Bull to contend with along the way. Williams struggled to find their feet last year. They'll be hoping for a stronger start this time around. And what I wonder of the Renault-powered cars. Will they be able to step forward? Maybe even onto the podium on a regular basis. Plenty to discuss then with Anthony Davidson. He's out of hibernation too, and alongside me in the commentary box once again.
It's good to be back, Crofty. Let's hope for some good racing today. We can't know at this point how competitive these teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody is able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Skip and Albon, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Sainz and Daniel Kvyat, Norris, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Perez, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So as you can see, we have 2 top-tier teams ahead of us. Anyway, so look at the race strategy, and we're going for the 1-stop since it's the faster strategy, and we're first, so we should get the faster strategy from softs to hards. Anyways, here we go. For the beginning race of the season, 5 red lights, and as Crofty would say, it's lights out, and away we go, off the line, trying to go around Leclerc. We're going up the middle between Bottas and Leclerc, heading to the first corner, and here we go. What is Vettel doing? Apparently I have a collision with Leclerc, but what has happened? I'm looking at the front wing desperately, and we're down in P5, where we started the race. Verstappen has had to jump on us, including Albon. The Red Bulls are flying off the line. But what happened to what was Vettel thinking? Here we are trying to go around Verstappen. We're a little loosey-goosey, heading into the corner, braking hard. I'm not looking at the track guide I have in front of me anymore because I am stunned by what I've just seen. It has been a while since I've looked at this footage. I've forgotten that Vettel just yeets Bottas off the track. He's ruined the Finns' race. And let's go back. I'm so stunned. We go back to the review. I bump tires with Leclerc, slow down, and Vettel just cuts the corner entirely and bumps Bottas into the grass. That being said, I think my front wing hit his front tire. So I might have been at a cause, but the stewards didn't say anything. My God, what a chaotic start to this Australian Grand Prix. As we head into turn 16, about to finish our first lap, almost coming to terms with the wall. Checking the MFD, we have no damage to our front wing. And off we go. Ricardo is closing up on us in the Renault. He could catch us. Everyone behind us could theoretically catch us because we are in a weaker car. We set a purple first sector on a second lap. We put at the ERS, which will give us extra horsepower due to engine's battery, as we head towards turn 6 into turn 7, bumping along the curb and entering the high-speed corner of turn 8. My God, this is turning to be an exceptional race. Green first sector. We go off. We cut the corner. I can't keep track. I have no idea how F1 commentators keep up with all this. It's just a sensory overload. Verstappen is pulling away from us with Vettel in front. We could contend potentially for a podium if we keep this pace up. Well, no, actually they're pulling ahead because I have no confidence heading into turn 15. But anyways, here we go. We're heading onto the main straight. Here we go. ERS into rich fuel mix with no Alex Albon. That's the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. At the time of recording this is right before Turkey, so we all know of the terrible races Albon's been having. So this is great to see in our career mode save, to see Albon just having the time of his life in that Red Bull. I mean, he's a great guy. Like, you see, like, some of the stuff he does off the track with like Lando and all the younger drivers. He's great. Purple second sector, cutting the chicane a bit at turn 10 as we head into the high-speed corner towards turn 11. ERS, rich fuel mix. We have to back off into the corner because we don't want to yeet ourselves into the gravel trap, and we're making up. We're within DRS range. 1 second of Verstappen heading into turn 15, braking late, heading into the corner on the power. DRS detection successful. We're heading into out of turn 16 onto the main straight. ERS, DRS, rich mix. We're just flying. We're trying to catch what's remaining of Verstappen's slipstream. And as we head onto laps 5, 6, Verstappen's pulled away. The soft tires that I'm using are just being eaten up. I'm tearing through them as I'm trying to desperately catch up. I hit the track bollard. And I go off the power because I had PTSD of what was to come. Anyways, here we are. Our pit window opens on lap 7, and we decide to go in first because, well, the tires are screaming. My front left is at 60%. Puncture range is around 75%. So we head into the pit lane, heading in as fast as we possibly can. Then we try to hit the brakes to slow down. Do we do it? We do. Thank God. We couldn't deal with time penalty. As we head into the pits, and we're ready to see. Well, I mean, we should have stayed out in retrospect because we were doing well. And the boys give us a 2.8 second pit stop. Lads, no. We're in P17. Granted, this is where we should be in the race, but we're so far behind. That being said, people will pit, but we have to head out quickly as we have to beat Grosjean into turn 1, and we barely get in front of him. DRS detection isn't active for Grosjean. I'm speechless. The minute I got out, I turned off the pit entry thingy. I don't know what it's called, and I go in. Grosjean, I can't cross the white line, and I just get in front of the Haas. My God. That was stressful. Anyway, here we go. Lap 8. We're trying to warm into these hard tires, which will last us till the end of the race, but hard tires are just so terrible. No grip at the beginning. We need to really warm it up. As you can see, even though they're new tires, we're setting up red sectors.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button more.
Jeff, I'm into a technical corner. I'm entering the dreaded turn 15. You want me to add horsepower? Anyway, so I'm going back to the tape because I just noticed that Bottas is ahead of us on the road, and I just wanted to look again at whether or not there was any damage done to him that required an early pit stop. And his front wing looks good. In fact, that just confirms my front wing actually did hit him. And Bottas is ahead of us, so we could potentially pass the Mercedes. I take that back. Everyone's pitting now, and it's Verstappen. So we could pass him here and go for P4, and we go. Here we go, around the outside. Verstappen, I'm on the grass. I can't lose the control, and what have I done? What has Verstappen done? Our front wing is in the yellow. We have to keep going. We could go off. We could go out for a new front wing, but that will put us way back at the pack, and we'll have to fight our way through. So we either go for a lack of downforce. In retrospect, it was my fault. I shouldn't have gone on the outside. Rookie mistake. But now my right front end plate is gone, which means we'll have less downforce into the corners, and the downforce will prevent me from experiencing too much understeer. Sorry. I can't speak. I'm in P13. I am... Wow. Here we go. Gasly's into the pits for a stop. We're up into P12. Sorry. Giovinazzi's in the pits. We can pass Verstappen here. DRS active. I have a red haze, because at this point I feel like it's Verstappen's fault that we have a bad front wing. Verstappen kind of brake checks us, but in retrospect it was us. It was our fault. We're in P9. We're in the points again. Ricardo, Norris behind us. Verstappen ahead with Vettel. We could do this. They're being held up by the slower Haas of, I believe, I want to say probably Kevin Magnussen, because Grosjean's behind us still. We're pulling through. We're going into turn 5, heading into turn 8. Yes, turn 8. Sorry. Oh god, I should have memorized the track before I started. Here we go. We're in the slipstream. I'm trying to catch up. Magnussen is holding it up brilliantly. We have DRS. 3. It's too wide. We're going in. Vettel. Everyone has DRS. We late brake into the corner, and we get 2 drivers with 1 pass. Let's go. The Haas has worked into our favor. I am screaming. I am sorry for your eardrums. But we look at the replay, and we probably corner cut. We look at Verstappen's replay. He gave us plenty of space, so maybe we should have taken it. I thought he was cutting us off, so I went on the grass, but the stewards haven't said anything. So it's a clean pass. We're up into P7. Provisional P7 right now. We're in P7 right now. Provisional, potentially, P4. So we could contend for a podium at this rate, I think. Bottas is 4th, but keep in mind, he stayed out longer, so he's going to have to pit soon. What a race. This is an amazing rookie race, but Verstappen, the exceptional driver, is creeping up our backside like a shark. This is an amazing race. Here we go. We're being pressured. Going around turn 5. Heading towards turn 6. Late on the brakes. We need to stay in the DRS, within DRS range of Vettel, so that way we have a chance. If we could put Vettel between us and Verstappen, we can not only make it onto the podium, but we can slow the advance of the charging Red Bull as we put on the ERS into turn heading into turn 9, braking hard. Wait, no, I think I've got this wrong. Wait. Hold on, let me review everything here again. Here we go, entering this turn, as I'm trying to understand the map. Turn 13, turn 14. Oh, so I was reading it all wrong. I was reading the track wrong. I'm not going to redo the recording because this is just exhilarating stuff. I am saying the wrong turns. I'll probably redo the... I'll probably put up in the video the proper turns. As we head up, DRS, Verstappen is closing in on us. Stroll's pitted, so we're in P4. We're back to where the race started. Charles Leclerc has just put up the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. I don't know what he's doing so far behind. He must have gotten damage from our contact because he's so far behind. Vettel is doing an exceptional job in P4. I wish Vettel was actually putting up results like this in real life, but as we know, the Ferrari he's driving is a Spinella machine. Here we go. Oh, we mount the curb too much. The hard tires are a terrible tire. I'm starting to wonder whether or not we could have survived on a medium set. It's terrible. Heading to turn 8. We're heading towards turn 9 right now. Now I'm on the proper reading. I apologize again for all F1 fans who are probably ripping their hairs out listening to this noob commentate about F1. The front wing has not gotten any more damage, and to be honest, at this stage, I'm not really feeling it that much. I say as I experience a wash of oversteer into the turn, corner cut, have DRS, put it on the ERS. I don't know why I'm not using rich mix. I have extra laps of fuel, which I specifically kept so I can use a lot more rich mix. And Vettel is hoarding us off. Like, we can't make the distance to Vettel. Here we go, trying to go around inside turn 15. We fail the maneuver, and Verstappen is nosed on us. We have to go on the inside wide. We get DRS somehow, and we pull everything. Rich, DRS, ERS, trying to get away from Verstappen. My God, what a race, what a battle. I am battling with a Red Bull and an Alfa Romeo. This is like going into a gunfight with a stormtrooper, and I have a rapier. I mean the sword, but you know what I mean? Like, I come in with a dagger, and there's a laser gun pointed at me. I am antiquated, the past, and Verstappen, the future, is coming at me. I mean in terms of our technology, not in terms of our age, because technically, according to this career mode save, Anakin Solo would be younger. I digress. Verstappen's gone around us. He's made contact.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on.
We've lost the place. We go back. Verstappen's going up. He's going on the inside. Heading into turn 13. Heading towards turn 14. Here's where he makes the move. I have a wash of understeer. And Verstappen, I don't know why he's mad. He came into me. I was taking... Whatever. We're down into P5. We have to keep going. We are putting up not so great lap times. Leclerc is behind us, and Leclerc is showing immense pace right now. If we don't get in front of Verstappen, Leclerc has the potential to pass us. Actually, not anymore. Nope. There's a massive battle between Leclerc and Ricciardo happening behind us. I am speechless. Like, this is turning out to be an amazing first race. If only the first... Well, that being said, the Austrian Grand Prix we had this year was amazing. The first one, that is. But... oh... I have no words. I put on an ERS. We are trying to catch up, make up the gap to Verstappen. Late braking into turn 9, heading around turn 10, into the high-speed corner. Lap 16. We have about 13 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Can we become the first rookie to ever get on the podium? Oh, I get off the power, and that destroys our hopes. Verstappen pulls away. The understeer heading into turn 12 was so bad, we mounted the curve that spun us around in Q2. And Verstappen's pulling away. We are out of the DRS range. Heading into the notorious turn 15 for me. I have to go off the power because I'm mounting the curb. And Verstappen pulled away. But we still get DRS somehow. Excuse me? I feel like a kid who got a question wrong on a test, and his teacher didn't notice the mistake and gave him the full points. Like, I shouldn't be getting the points, but... Anyway, heading into turn 4... Heading into turn 5 now. High-speed corner. Trying to catch up to Verstappen still. We're still in the DRS range. We are now the hunting shark behind Verstappen as he's trying to catch up to the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Heading into the high-speed corner of turn 8. We're heading towards turn 9. Green first sector. Late braking. And we just make it through. Heading into out of turn 10. Heading into the high-speed, technically straight, technically a turn. Heading towards the chicane of turn 11 and 12. Late braking. Cutting the corner, we have DRS again. Don't mount the curb this time. We go off the power. Enter it all. DRS. And why am I not using Rich Mix? Past Anakin, what are you doing? I'm on the grass. And I've botched it. All the hard work, all the shark pursuing of the last few laps has been wasted by the understeer on his Alfa Romeo. I am missing that drag reduction update. Pierre Gasly is out of the session. I don't know what place he was in at this moment, but you can tell there's a severe loss of power. So Pierre Gasly, the Frenchman, is out of the first Grand Prix of the season. That is a terrible result. I feel so bad for him. As we race past the car of Gasly, yellow flag, green flag back up, and as we head further into the race, on the 20th lap, Lance Stroll is out of the race. For some reason, I give us the cockpit view. And as you can see, heading toward turn 15. And again, there's a loss of power. He just couldn't get out of 4th gear. So he pulls off to the side of the track. And that is Lance Stroll out of this Grand Prix. 2 DNFs in the opening race of the season. My goodness. I hope the mic wasn't too far away from my mouth. I'll have to boost the volume up maybe. But here we go, into turn 15. Take it way too wide. Understeering like crazy. Entering turn 16. It's lap 25. Heading on to 26. Right now. And we're putting up consistent red sectors. At this point, I'm saying, forget this. I decided to go for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. On hard tires. At this point, I had no idea what I was doing. I thought fastest laps you can do on any tire. But the smartest thing would have been going for soft tires. But, I mean, that would have given up grid positions. That being said, we are in such a clean walk. We are in so much clean air right now. I just thought I could do it. But by lap 28, we haven't done it. We're setting up consistently red sectors. I can't speak right now. And speaking of which, the tires are screaming 60% on the front left. How has this happened? How am I overheating that tire consistently while the rest are at 40%?
Okay, gap ahead is 8.7 seconds.
Verstappen's pulled away, but there's no hope that Ricciardo's going to catch up. So on the last lap of the Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton wins the first race of the season. That's to be expected. But Verstappen wasn't able to get by Sebastian Vettel. He's going to finish P4. Vettel on the podium, and on our rookie race, we finish P5 in an Alfa Romeo.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in
What a result! No one seems impressed by this, but I'm shocked. And Lando Norris got driver today. Whatever. I thought we did better, but hey, I love Lando. He's such a funny guy. Anyway.
And they've taken a fantastic win. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team. And they certainly deserve it.
And what a result it was. P5. But what's stunning, Alex Albon, the man who, in real life, people are debating whether he's going to have a seat for next year in Formula 1. He is on the podium, placing above the likes of Sebastian Vettel and his teammate Max Verstappen. What is this career mode save showing us right now? That is a great podium. That being said, Lewis Hamilton on the top step. Sure, whatever. We would come to expect that. He is amazing. But that podium, that is a dream podium for some. And Leclerc down in 9. Bottas in 8th. What a result from him, coming from so low on the grid after being yeeted off the circuit by Sebastian Vettel. And Giovinazzi in P14. That being said, he made up 1 place. And seeing Gasly DNF, that's a shame, real shame. Lando Norris did well too, as you can see. Anyway, in the driver standings, it is essentially the standings that we just saw, because there's only 1 race. But Alfa Romeo Racing in 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull is 1st. We shouldn't really take these much. There's 1 point separating Mercedes from Red Bull right now.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled.
Okay, clearly this woman has not seen my hit into the wall. Anyway, what question do we do? I have a feeling I go for the team, yeah. Good answer.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
Okay, that kind of contradicts your last question, but... ooh, I feel like an idiot magnet. That is a harsh statement. I think I'm going to go with none of us wants to be the person to back down. These things happen. I mean, yeah. Just racing.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Okay, so this went from one side of the spectrum to the other. And I go with I'm not sure what happened, to be honest, because I don't know what really happened to me this race.
Time.
And there we go. That's our first race, P5, in the opening race of the season. If we can only go up from here, we're looking into an exceptional season with Alfa Romeo. And we'll maybe by the mid-season break, maybe we'll get promoted. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Stay safe out there, and be sure to tune in for race number 2. Anyways, I'm Isolation Gamer 05, and until then, peace out.